7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm very excited to film this video because I've had tons of conversations. If it's with Knicks fans, 76ers fans, because I live in South Jersey. If it's with broad NBA fans, just they may not have a team, but they love the game of basketball. By the way, I can't control that I live in South Jersey. Yes, some 76ers fans are very annoying here. Some have knowledge, some don't. And yeah, whenever I wanted to start a conversation with them about basketball before entering this year, it's just like, when's the last time the Knicks beat us, Noah? Because I believe the last time before we beat them this year was like 2017, and Carmelo hit a clutch shot. They still had Robert Covington. They still had T.J. McConnell. I don't even think they were a playoff team yet. Before entering this year or before this season, yeah, it's been a long time. Obviously, the series was 2-2, but there's not much value behind it because the 76ers are much better than us this year. We'll see what goes on to happen moving forward. But the conversation that I had with Knicks fans, NBA fans, and 76ers fans was about 3-and-D players and how the New York Knicks just don't pay attention to drafting 3-and-D players. They always want to go for the high upside, or they get too cute. They reach for a point guard. They look at the physical tools, but they don't look at a player's mentality. They don't look at the production. They don't look at what's going to translate over to the next level. And I think a perfect example of that is Mikal Bridges. I'm not going to knock Kevin Knox, but I wanted Mikal Bridges on draft night because we knew what he could bring to the table. The New York Knicks were at, during this state, or they're in the stage that it's like, yeah, am I trusting this organization or am I trusting this coaching staff to develop a project type of player? If it's Lonnie Walker at the time or it's a Kevin Knox, those guys were underdeveloped. They have great physical tools, solid athleticism, and they had some production, but it's just like they're kind of boom or bust type of potential players. Obviously, Kevin Knox did not work out with us. Lonnie Walker is continuing to develop as a basketball player with his jump shot and all that. We know his athleticism. We know his defense. We know his story. It's unbelievable. But Mikal Bridges was a for sure thing. I was like, we're not going to have to really develop much with him. He knows what he is. Like, he doesn't try to do too much out there on the floor. He's a winning player. He helped win a national championship at Villanova, coming from a Villanova program, like, with winning habits. And knocking down threes is very important in today's NBA. It's not like back in the day, Mark Jackson bringing up the ball, getting picked up full court, dribbling it near his hip, just waiting for the play to develop. It was a slower paced game. Now it's faster paced, guys coming off of screens, more reactionary, making quick decisions with the basketball. And Mikal Bridges was a solid athlete. He was a very good on-ball defender. He had great instincts. He had this long wingspan. And a lot of people didn't want to draft him, or I wanted to draft him, but some Knicks fans were like, he doesn't have star-level potential. He played too many years of college ball. He's too old, like that type of thing. But I don't care. If you could ball, you could ball. And you don't really know if someone's going to be a star or not, unless, obviously, it was a Zion hype coming out. Obviously, Zion hasn't, well, he's technically was an all-star, but he had that type of hype. You look at a LeBron James coming out, those types of guys, you know. So, Mikal Bridges obviously has turned out to be a good player. The last time I checked, he was a defensive player of the year candidate. He's put up very solid numbers. He's been an efficient three-point shooter, very good defensive player, like I mentioned. He's even progressed as an offensive player, shooting off the dribble. So we're going to be talking about Quentin Grimes because we finally took a 3-and-D player, and I'm very excited to see what he could bring to the table. And potential, in my opinion, shouldn't just be looked at when it comes to physical tools, athleticism, and what they can be. You should take a look at their body of work, or just the work they put in, and also their mindset as well. And you need to have some type of production there when it comes to the college level, what's going to transfer over. But yeah, Mikal Bridges, we didn't have to really develop much there. He was a pretty refined basketball player, and he's continuing to get better. So Quentin Grimes, we went on a draft out of Houston. We did a lot of trading down. It was a lot of maneuvering was going on in that draft, and Quentin Grimes, you could say he was the first one to really burst out of Tom Thibodeau's bubble of like allowing rookies to play compared to Miles McBride, Jericho Sims, even like Cam Reddish. He liked Quentin Grimes more than Cam Reddish. And Grimes, he knows his limitations. He knows what he's capable of. He doesn't try to do too much. And I just love watching him on the defense side of the basketball. He's a tremendous defender. He pressures the ball handler like a freaking beast. His ability to just deny the ball. He just has great fundamentals. He does a good job utilizing his wingspan. He doesn't have some freakishly long wingspan, but he's good at using what he has. And he has good technique. He has good fundamentals. He plays very hard. And you have to have that resilient type of style of play on the defense of the basketball. I feel like technique, hustle and discipline is a huge thing on the defense side of the basketball. And he's not some fantastic athlete, but he knows how to get after it on that side of the ball. He's really improved since high school. He's really improved since the college level. We all knew he had that potential as a defender at college, but I feel like he's starting to become more disciplined on that side of the ball. So you have the defensive factor here, and having a 3-and-D player is very valuable, not just off the bench, really giving you that boost or really giving you some momentum and just really setting the tone on defense. Just having that hustle play is huge, especially if you're a New York Knicks in the Garden. It can really get the Garden going crazy. But also, it's not just like good for the bench. We're going to be getting into like the main part of his game. Obviously, that's translated over to the NBA very well, shooting at 38%. But let's say there's a huge injury that goes on to happen, and Quentin Grimes needs to step in into a big-time role, or he has to go on to be a starter. Yes, the offense will not be as sexy. You have some question marks when it comes to shot creation in the offense. There's not going to be a great amount of versatility. We already know Tom Thibodeau's offense is pretty much bland, but Quentin Grimes, he'll know his role. He'll just know what he's capable of, and there's nothing that pisses me off more than a player trying to do too much and playing out of their comfort zone. I know at some point, like, if you practice those moves, then yeah, it's not a bad shot in the game, in my opinion. Like, a lot of people say that's a bad shot, but if they practice it, it's not a bad shot to them because they're trying to really perfect that in the game or really try to get it going. But Quentin Grimes, he just does a really good job. One of the most underrated parts of his game is his moving. And the crazy thing is, he was pretty impactful. I know his numbers weren't crazy, but due to an inconsistent amount of minutes and also injury, the injury bug hit him and he got kind of rusty at the end of the season. But I love his ability to relocate and how he's continuing to move. He gets the ball on the right wing, he swings it, he moves on over to the other wing, relocates to the corner. I love his ability to move. I love his ability to cut back door. Sometimes he would flash. And I feel there's more versatility to Quentin Grimes' game than people think. I'm not saying he's going to be crazy beating you off the dribble, but getting back to the starting part, he's not going to hurt your team. He's going to be able to be impactful as a starter. And his shooting is unbelievable. His release is extremely quick. You know the whole beef term you learned in elementary school? He has all that down when it comes to his balance, his eyes, just everything when it comes to shooting the basketball. Every time he shoots it, you think it's going in. Obviously, he's had his bad misses. Sometimes he's just hit the backboard, but that happens with every shooter at the end of the day. So he has a very pretty looking shot. He's able to get it off in a hurry. It doesn't matter if someone's draped all over him. And the thing that's impressive is this offense is bland, and you could say we're not really putting him in a position to be fully successful. But he has shown at times that he can beat guys off the dribble. Yes, it's a very small sample size. It was versus the Sacramento Kings. Tyrese Halliburton's a solid defender. I'm not going to say he's tremendous. I feel like he's kind of regressed in that department. He can continue to get better when it comes to his basketball IQ on that side of the ball. But he was able to use a hesitation move and get to the cup. He doesn't have a crazy amount of verticality in the half-court setting when he does try to attack the basket. But he's someone that gets it done. And I feel the New York Knicks have been looking for that player, or the Knicks should have been looking for that player for a very long time that can impact the game with his energy, his three-point shooting, just really giving the momentum, not being afraid of the big moment. We saw versus Milwaukee, yes, we got blown out in that game, but he kind of gave us some life with 27 points in that ball game when he had to go on to start because of an injury. He's always ready to go. And it doesn't matter if he's 0 for 5 out there on the floor. He's not afraid to continue shooting the basketball. He hustles. He plays extremely hard. I feel he's built for New York. He's a humble dude. And I'm really excited to see what Quentin Grimes is going to continue to do moving forward. At this point right now, I don't think he's a starter because I don't think there's enough versatility and scoring off the dribble, in my opinion, for him to be a starter. And he can make the basic reads. He's not an unselfish player. Sometimes he can take wild shots, but he does have that type of range. Like in transition, he's that guy who's not afraid to shoot the basketball. And the New York Knicks need shooters. We need defense. We need guys that aren't afraid of the big moment. And he's proven to be clutch, especially in that Miami game. So I'm glad we got a mentally tough player later in the draft. So his contract, he's not getting paid a lot of money. It's very valuable to have a solid player on a rookie contract. But you have to put it into context of the role he's in and how he's limited as an offensive player right now and not getting consistent minutes. But let me know down below your thoughts on Quentin Grimes. Do you think he could eventually develop an off-the-dribble game? We've seen Jordan Poole. I'm not comparing him to Jordan Poole. Like, yes, I technically am. I'm not saying he's going to be Jordan Poole, but you saw the development of Jordan Poole from Michigan shooting off the dribble. Even Mikal Bridges has regressed, or he's improved as an offensive player, shooting off the dribble as well. He has a good work ethic. I really think he's going to continue to get better. I like his game. Let me know down below your thoughts on Quentin Grimes. What do you think he could be moving forward? And peace out, y'all.